Hey, tonight I'm testing out some of the tools I'd like to use for trying to teach an online course, or actually using some of this to hold office hours potentially as education moves more and more online. As more classes are offered online, I just wanted to see if I could get a couple of tools together that might make the process a little bit easier. So here I'm going to try out PowerPoint, and then I'm going to show off my IDE. Hopefully that will work out. And then lastly, I'm going to attempt to use my iPad sort of as a whiteboard so that I can write notes and share those notes with students as I live stream over a platform like, in this instance, over YouTube. So here we go. I just put together a couple of slides that I used when I interviewed at UCCS to become a lecturer for this Java class. So just essentially the students will be live streaming the video, or really live streaming this as I go through the PowerPoint slides. You go over the objectives, you go over some of the definitions for Java and different classes and methods. But really, programming classes are really hard to understand without examples, so I want to be able to bounce back and forth between PowerPoints and an IDE, for example. So let's see how that works if I can swap over to my IDE. Cool, there we go. And then the font size should be big enough. I think I made it large enough for people to be able to read. This is just a simple Go project that I'm writing for work for a package manager, but as you can see, you can go through and see the content here. You can actually go through and minimize some of the code blocks to make it a little bit easier to read, and then you can kind of expand them as you're going, as you're explaining what the code does in the class. And then down here is a terminal, so we can run different commands, and again the font should be big enough. I'll check that after I'm done live streaming to make sure that that's all readable. And you can just continue to go through the different code blocks, and then as you explain the course, you can extend the code blocks and explain what's happening here. And then you can go back to your PowerPoint and go through more of that. And then let's say that we actually want to be able to share notes with students. We could go over here. I'm trying to live stream my let's try this. It's 11. Cool. So we can actually see the iPad now. And then that looks good. I can do this is a note. And then bullet. More notes. Cool. And then you can just write on this like you would a whiteboard, and then go back to the IDE and explain more, and then shift back to the iPad, do more notes, and then shift back and forth between the different mediums as you're instructing the class online. So I think that this will work relatively well. The iPad's a little finicky, but it seems to be working all right. So thanks for watching.